All right, now I've got my cleaned list of countries, and now what I'm going to do is show you the difference how Refine lets you deal with rows and records, which is unreal once you get the gist of it. So, first I'm sorting. It's case sensitive. It's an 18 character ID, and you do this thing that says sort reorder rows permanently. So that's a done deal. Now what I'm going to do is called blank down. Now when you do that, if there's two cells that have the same value, it blanks them all down. And essentially, because this is ID, right, so that one account can have multiple contacts underneath it. So if I scroll forward, well, let me first switch into record view, which treats every, let me show you once we get to an example. This will takes longer than you thought when you got 200,000 records. So let's get that easy. So all of a sudden, what this is showing me a list of is, this is an account that has more than one contact under it, and these are the countries for that are listed in those contacts. And what I need to do is get a unique list of countries out. And I'm sure someone who's a whiz in Excel can figure out how to do that, but I sure can't. But what Refine lets you do is that blank down, when you're in record mode, it treats each of these as a record. It treats each of these as a unit, and these are kind of, it's an array of values within that record. But it takes whatever that first column is and treats it everything, any blanks under that are basically part of that record. And you can switch from row to record mode if you want to. So then here all of a sudden it treats those blanks as actual blanks. But if I go into record mode, this blank row is actually part of this record, so it shows the whole thing. And that's going to get really powerful in a second. So I can kill this facet. I don't actually need it. I was just using it to show. And now this requires some formula wizardry and a reasonable understanding of this tool, but it's not that hard. And so what I'm going to do is edit column, add column based on this column, and I've got two formulas here. I'm just going to put it in, and this is going to get me. It's going to go into the row, treat it as a record. Look at the values under preferred mailing country, and it's going to take the uniques and join them with a semicolon. So I'm just going to call it unique countries, and hit boom. And look at this. I mean, it's just amazing. All of a sudden, I've got a list, because one account might have 20 different countries under it, and that in and of itself. That's what I'm trying to deal with, because we need billing country populated on all the accounts if possible. So boom, so now I've got unique countries, and again, I'm just to show you that this thing actually works. If I facet by blank again to see these records, you can see, okay, let's find one that doesn't have that has a mismatch of records, and here they're all the same. Wow, isn't that boring? Here we go. So this one lists all the unique values, but of course if there's only one, it only lists one. So now what I can actually do is, I'm going to shift to row mode, and I'm actually going to dump all the blank records because I don't need them anymore. So I can go into remove all matching rows. Those guys are all gone. Now I've got my list of unique countries, and actually, oops, I went too fast. Let me go back. I'm going to stay there. I'm not going to remove those rows quite yet, because there's something else I need to do. Right, I have the number of unique countries, but I also want the count of unique countries. So I'm going to add another column based on this column. I've got another expression saved. It's almost the same, but instead of joining them, I'm just calculating the length of the array, which is how many countries we got. So, boom. Probably should enter a column name. And boom. Now, again, takes a little longer because I'm recording this video at the same time on a very old Core 2 Duo. I've got Linux running on, so it still works, but it's still pretty amazing. I can chunk through 171,000 records on an old machine like this while recording a video. And boom, now I've got a country count. And what I can do now is, let's say I only want the ones that have one country. The rest of them I need to separate. So I'm gonna bump that slider up to 252, and then it's gonna, you know, I'm sure the size of this video is getting big enough to choke this computer now. But once it gets through that, oh yeah, look at that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I can easily export the rest. And again, this is on a very old machine that is also recording a video, so it's not too happy about that. I'm going to pause this and come right back. All right, we're back. I removed all the blank rows and moved back to row mode from record mode. Now everything's running smoothly. So boom, it was dealing with the records that was hanging it up. So all of a sudden, here are all the ones that have more than 2 countries. I need to deal with those separately. So once you apply a facet, you can actually export and dump that facet. So I'm going to export this as a CSV. Let that come out. I'll save the file. It doesn't let you name it when you export it, and that's too bad, but you'll have to deal with that separately. And now again, I can dump all these rows, right? Because these are the ones that have more than 1 value in the context, or maybe 51 values in the context. Boom. Removed all those, kill that facet, and now these are all of the accounts, which the contacts under it just have 1 country. And now I can just dump this back into Salesforce. And I don't know, maybe you have a better way of doing this, but I cannot imagine something that would do it this fast. And again, this is just touching the tip of the iceberg. The things you can do just with faceting alone are incredible. You know, it's like, and the uses for this, you can click on these, you can include, exclude, you can merge. It's just really, really powerful. So, highly recommend this as a tool that you get familiar with, because it's free, it's open source, it's pretty awesome. So that's the end of that. Have a good one.